Supporting metal-clad cable in drop ceilings requires careful consideration of both cost and code compliance. Several methods can be employed to achieve this. Firstly, self-extinguishing zip ties rated for use in drop ceilings can be used. These ties should secure the cables together in bundles of 3 to 4. The bundles can then be secured to the ceiling grid using wire hooks or metal banding. Secondly, J-hooks can be installed on the edge of the ceiling grid. Use ultraviolet-resistant J-hooks designed for metal-clad cable. Secure the cables to the hooks using cable ties or cable straps. Thirdly, small prefabricated cable trays can be mounted to the ceiling grid. These trays should have built-in supports to prevent cable sagging. Secure the cables to the trays using zip ties or hook and loop straps. Fourthly, ladder-type cable ties designed for drop ceilings are a suitable option. These ties feature a ladder-like structure that provides support for multiple cables. Secure the ties to the ceiling grid using screws or wire hooks. Fifthly, flexible conduit can be installed to the ceiling grid. Route the metal-clad cables through the conduit, securing them as needed. The conduit provides support and protection from damage. Sixthly, conduit fittings specifically designed for use with metal-clad cable in drop ceilings can be used. These fittings have built-in supports and provide a secure connection to the grid. Secure the cables to the fittings using cable ties or set screws. Some additional tips should be considered. Maintain a minimum of 6 inches of separation between cables and other building materials. Avoid running cables parallel to fluorescent lighting fixtures. Ensure the cables are not overloaded or subjected to excessive heat. Regularly inspect the support systems and cables for damage or deterioration. By following these methods, you can cost-effectively and code-compliantly support multiple runs of metal-clad cable in drop ceilings. Electrical codes and local regulations should always be consulted for specific requirements in your area. Proper support is essential not only for code compliance but also for the long-term safety and reliability of the electrical system. When selecting a method, consider the weight and number of cables being supported, as well as the accessibility for future maintenance. Zip ties are generally the least expensive option, but may not be suitable for heavy cable runs. J-hooks offer a good balance of cost and support for moderate cable loads. Cable trays provide the most robust support, but can be more expensive and require more installation time. Ladder-type cable ties are a versatile option that can accommodate a variety of cable sizes and configurations. Flexible conduit provides added protection against physical damage and can be useful in areas where cables are exposed to potential hazards. Conduit fittings offer a secure and reliable connection to the ceiling grid, ensuring that the cables are properly supported. Regardless of the method chosen, it is important to use hardware and materials that are specifically designed for the application. Using the wrong type of support can lead to cable sagging, damage, and even electrical hazards. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing cable supports. Proper spacing and securement are essential for preventing cable movement and strain. In addition to the support methods mentioned above, there are a few other factors to consider when running metal-clad cable in drop ceilings. Avoid creating sharp bends in the cable, as this can damage the insulation and reduce its ampacity. When running cable through walls or partitions, use appropriate bushings or grommets to protect the cable from abrasion. Ensure that all connections are made inside approved junction boxes and that the boxes are properly supported. Metal-clad cable must be properly grounded to provide a safe path for fault current. Follow the requirements of the National Electrical Code, Section 250-118 for acceptable grounding methods. When working with electrical wiring, always de-energize the circuit before making any connections or modifications. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consult a qualified electrician. Metal-clad cable, often referred to as MC cable, is a factory-assembled cable containing one or more insulated conductors enclosed in a metallic sheath. It is commonly used in both residential and commercial buildings for power, lighting, and control circuits. The metallic sheath provides mechanical protection for the conductors and serves as a grounding conductor. Metal-clad cable is suitable for both exposed and concealed installations and can be used in dry, damp, or wet locations depending on the cable's rating. It is important to select the appropriate type of metal-clad cable for the specific application and environmental conditions. When installing metal-clad cable in drop ceilings, it is essential to follow all applicable codes and regulations. The National Electrical Code, often abbreviated as NEC, provides detailed requirements for the installation of electrical wiring, including metal-clad cable. Local building codes may also have additional requirements that must be followed. Failure to comply with these codes can result in fines, delays, and even electrical hazards. The NEC Article 330 covers metal-clad cable. It outlines the permitted uses, installation requirements, and ampacity ratings for metal-clad cable. It is important to carefully review Article 330 before installing metal-clad cable in any application. The NEC also includes tables that provide information on the allowable ampacities of metal-clad cable conductors. These tables take into account the conductor size, insulation type, and ambient temperature. It is important to select the appropriate conductor size and insulation type for the specific load requirements and environmental conditions. In addition to the NEC, there are other industry standards and guidelines that can be helpful when installing metal-clad cable. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMAC, publishes standards for electrical products, including metal-clad cable. These standards provide information on the performance, safety, and installation of metal-clad cable. The Insulated Cable Engineers Association, or ICEA, also publishes standards for insulated cables. These standards cover a wide range of topics, including cable construction, testing, and application. By following these standards and guidelines, you can ensure that your metal-clad cable installation is safe, reliable, and code compliant. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer if you have any questions or concerns about the installation of metal-clad cable. Proper installation is essential for the safety and performance of the electrical system. This ensures the safety of building occupants and protects against potential electrical hazards. The use of listed and labeled products is crucial. Ensure that all materials, including the metal-clad cable and its supporting hardware, are listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories, often abbreviated as UL, or Intertek, often abbreviated as ETL. Listing and labeling indicate that the products have been tested and meet specific safety standards. Selecting the right support system is critical to prevent cable sagging, which can lead to insulation damage and potential fire hazards. The support system must be adequate to handle the weight of the metal-clad cable, especially when multiple ones are bundled together. The support should be spaced appropriately to maintain the cable's integrity and prevent strain on connections. In addition to physical support, consider environmental factors such as temperature and humidity. High temperatures can degrade the insulation of the metal-clad cable, reducing its lifespan and potentially causing failures. High humidity levels can lead to corrosion of the metal sheath, compromising its grounding capabilities. Choose metal-clad cable and support systems that are suitable for the specific environmental conditions of the installation. Accessibility for future maintenance and inspections is another important consideration. Ensure that the metal-clad cable and its support system are easily accessible for routine inspections and repairs. Avoid burying the cable behind drywall or other obstructions. Provide adequate clearance around the cable to allow for easy access and maintenance. Proper grounding is essential for safety and to prevent electrical shock hazards. The metal sheath of the metal-clad cable serves as the grounding conductor and must be properly connected to the building's grounding system. Follow the requirements of the NEC for grounding metal-clad cable, including the use of appropriate grounding connectors and bonding techniques. Avoid running metal-clad cable in areas where it is likely to be exposed to physical damage. If the cable must be run in a vulnerable location, provide additional protections such as conduit or cable trays. Protect the cable from sharp objects, heavy equipment, and other potential hazards. Proper cable management is essential for maintaining a neat and organized installation. Use cable ties, straps, or other means to bundle and route the metal-clad cable in an orderly fashion. Avoid creating excessive slack in the cable, as this can create a tripping hazard. Labeling the metal-clad cable is important for identification and troubleshooting purposes. Use cable markers or labels to identify the circuit number, voltage, and other relevant information. This will make it easier to locate and identify the cable in the future. Consider the aesthetics of the installation. While functionality and safety are the primary concerns, it is also important to maintain a neat and professional appearance. Route the metal-clad cable in a way that minimizes its visibility and avoids creating an unsightly mess. Finally, remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. Improper installation of metal-clad cable can lead to serious injury or even death. Always follow safe work practices and take the necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Regularly inspect the installation to identify any potential problems. Look for signs of cable sagging, insulation damage, or corrosion. Address any issues promptly to prevent further damage or safety hazards. Keep accurate records of the installation, including the type and size of metal-clad cable used, the location of the cable runs, and the date of installation. This information will be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Stay up to date on the latest codes and regulations. Electrical codes are constantly evolving, so it is important to stay informed about the latest changes. Attend continuing education courses or consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your metal-clad cable installations are always code compliant. In conclusion, supporting metal-clad cable and drop ceilings requires careful planning, proper installation techniques, and adherence to applicable codes and regulations. By following these guidelines, you can ensure a safe, reliable, and code-compliant electrical system. Remember to always prioritize safety and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns.